Okay guys, so you should have been given a note sheet. So we are going to be looking at real world situations and writing equations for those problems. So at the top it says, when a word problem involves a constant rate or speed and a beginning amount, it can be written in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. To do this, we have to recognize which number will represent m, which is the rate, and which number will represent b, which is the y-intercept. Okay, so number one, it says you are visiting Baltimore, Maryland, and a taxi company charges a flat fee of $3 for using the taxi and 75 cents per mile. So part A says write an equation that you could use to find the cost of the taxi ride in Baltimore, Maryland. Let x represent the miles and y represent the total cost. Okay, so our total cost, y, we have to find out what our rate is. Okay, well, our flat rate is never going to change. So that's going to be our constant. So that is going to be our b value in this situation. So $3 is going to be charged no matter how far I go. So 75 cents is going to be charged per mile. So if we knew that that taxi went 50 miles, we could plug that in for x and solve. So then if we look at B, it says, how much would a taxi ride for 8 miles cost? Well, x represents our number of miles. So we're going to take y equals 0.75 times the 8 miles plus the $3 that we're going to get charged no matter what. So 75 cents times 8 is 6 plus 3 is 9. So it will cost $9 to travel 8 miles. Then for C it says if a taxi ride costs $15 total, how many miles did they travel? So 15 is our total cost, so that was our y value. So you have to plug that in for y and solve for x. So we subtract the 3 over, we get 12 equals 0.75 times x. So 12 divided by 75 cents. X equals 16 miles. Okay. We kind of did a few of these problems in our last unit, so you should be pretty good at being able to write these equations. A plumber charges $50 to make a house call. He also charges $25 per hour for labor. That per is a key math word when we talk about multiplying. So I don't know how many hours he works, so that's going to be our x. So when we write our equation, so part A says write your equation. So y is equal to $25 per hour plus the $50 that it cost me just to have him come to my house. Now I want you to pause the video, and I want you to try both B and C before coming back to make sure you are correct. So pause the video, do B and C on your own, and then play the video to make sure you are correct. Alright, so 2.5 hours of labor, so y equals 25 times 2.5 plus 50. 25 times 2.5 is 62.50. Plus the $50 for him making the house call. So y equals $112.50. And then for C it says the bill of the plumber is $162.50. How many hours did the plumber work? So the total cost was $162.50. Got to solve for x. So x equals 4.5 hours. hours. If you need to, you can pause that. All right, I want you to try number 3 on your own. You got to be careful on number 3 because there's some key words. I'm going to help you underline those. So it says an airplane was 30,000 feet above the ground and it begins descending at a rate of 2,000 feet per minute. It says assume the plane continues at the same rate of descent. The plane's height and minutes above the ground are related to each other. So I want you to pause the video for just a second and try this one out and then come back and see if you're right. Okay, so if I write the equation, y equals, the plane is 30,000 feet above the ground. That's where we're at right now. That's our starting amount. So that's like our y-intercept. Now it's descending, so the plane is going down at 2,000 feet per minute. So we're going to have a negative slope on this one. So that should be the equation that you wrote. It says find the altitude of the plane after 5 minutes. So y equals negative 2,000 times 5 plus 30,000. 2,000 times 5 is negative 10,000. So y is equal to 20,000 feet above the ground. So this is A's answer and this is B's answer. All right, so when you are done with this, you are going to raise your hand. The sub is going to look over your notes. So what she's looking for is the fact that your notes look like my notes and are very detailed. Okay, at that point you will get your homework assignment. If you don't get finished in class, it is going to be due. It is homework and it is due on Friday.